Welcome to the R.Y.S.E Movement podcast, a place where men just like you learn to raise your standards everywhere. So sit back, grab a pen and a pad, and let's get to work. Welcome to the R.Y.S.E Movement podcast. I am founder Dave R.Y.S.E, and in this episode, continuing on the month of health and fitness and wellness, we're going to be diving into self-care. This is one of the most underutilized facets of a man's life. Men are so good at doing. We are so damn brilliant at continuing moving forward, doing hard labor jobs, doing things, whatever it takes to be able to provide financially, to put a roof over our head, food on the table for our families, our kids, and to make sure that they have the better opportunities that we didn't get necessarily growing up. I think that's a fair assessment of men, especially in Australia. We will do what is necessary to move hell and high water, to create abundance, to create a platform, a foundation for our children to grow up and have the best experience of life possible. I'm going to ask you a really hard question. When was the last time you really looked after yourself? When was the last time that you treated yourself as if you matter? When was the last time that you sought out therapy, that you went for massages, that you actually nurtured yourself by sitting down and maybe reading a book, doing some meditation, going for a quiet walk, even doing some journaling? These are some questions that I want you to ask yourself, because there's some questions that I started asking myself many years ago. I don't know if you're like me, but I had horrid mental health. My mental health from about 15, 16 years old, I would say my internal environment was nothing but chaos. And it was extremely, extremely hard to live with. Like I said in episode 2, talking about being alone and the fact that I couldn't actually be alone. I would have to go out and chase women and, manipulate and just be an absolute piece of shit. I did that because my mind was so busy. Because my internal environment was so toxic and chaotic. Yeah, I went through my own, violence and trauma and stuff like that as a child, and that left an imprint on me. I know many of you out there have got experience with trauma, with DV, with abuse. It doesn't need to be physical in nature. It can be emotional, mental, it can even be financial, sexual. Any of these is something for you to look at. When it comes to health, fitness, and wellness, if you're not taking care of self-care, of the care of self, you're letting everyone else down, because they're not getting dad, husband, co-worker at the best that he can be. Now, I've said this before, you have limitless potential. However, if you're burning both ends of the candle and you're training hard and you're doing all the things, you're going to work for 10, 12 hour days, no days off sort of thing, and the weekends you're out doing the yard work and you're burning both ends of the candle, what's going to happen if you all of a sudden get injured or sick? Or even worse, what happens if you die? Last episode, we talked about contingency plans. Self-care is a contingency plan for success, because you're factoring in, what if I get injured? What if I get sick? What if? I'm not talking about thinking about what if as if it's like a conspiracy theory for yourself. However, you want to stress inoculate and you want to shit test your life knowing that you've got everything covered. Because as the R.Y.S.E logo is Atlas, he is the man with the world in his hands. He's the man with the world on his shoulders, the old Greek god. I know that's what it feels like for my life at times, especially at the moment. I know what it's like for you guys, because I've worked with so many men that all say something similar around, I feel like I have the world on my shoulders. I feel like everything I am carrying is bearing me down and I can't walk forward. I'm struggling to stand up straight. It is something that I've heard time and time again. The biggest savior here is yourself. The biggest savior here is yourself. You need to look after yourself in all manners to be able to make sure that you are the one that is going to continue helping provide, protect, and secure your family. It is up to you to raise those standards, especially with self-care, to be able to make sure that you're getting nurtured. Men need to be loved, men need to be nurtured, men need to be held, men need to be massaged, they need to have facials, they need to do all whatever is necessary and up to your standards for self-care. You need to determine whatever is self-care to you. That can be going for a quiet walk, like I said. Hell, that can even be going and having a couple of beers or going camping with the boys. However, the caveat that we're going to talk about today as well is around communication. You can't go out and do self-care properly, especially if you're in a committed, intimate relationship, if you don't have effective communication. Most of us don't even have communication that is up to our own standards to talk to ourselves, to check in with ourselves, to see how we're thinking, feeling, and acting. Most of us are so damn busy doing the R.Y.S.E logo with Atlas, the world in his hands, or the world on his back, that they're so damn busy carrying the burden of fucking everything, they don't stop to check in with themselves. They don't stop to reflect and think, I'm really burnt out, I'm overwhelmed, and I'm not okay. It is completely acceptable to reach out for help. It is completely acceptable to seek counseling, therapy, coaching, relationship counseling. It doesn't matter what you think about it. It is acceptable. It is okay. I've been through counseling. I've been through therapy, coaching. I've done coaching programs. I've read hundreds of self-help books. I'm about to go do some more counseling again because of what's going on at the moment. I know that I need to be okay, because if I'm not okay and I'm not looking after myself, how the fuck am I meant to look after my fiance? How the fuck am I meant to look after my kids? If I don't do everything necessary to tick all the boxes, dot all the I's and cross all the T's, I can't look after my family to the best of my ability. I can't meet my potential. I can't help those that are in my life. I can't help you guys if I'm not worrying about myself. If I don't be selfish, that I can't be selfless. I'll say that again. This is a mantra that I want you to think about when it comes to self-care and looking after yourself. If I'm not selfish, I can't be selfless. I care about my family so much that I have to look after myself. I have to look after myself. I have to put myself first at times. This is one of those times where what we're going through as a family, where we have to make sure that, yes, we're all in it together and we're all going through it. We've all got our own things that we've got to work through. However, it's up to the individual. Yes, I'm the head of the household. I'm the father. I'm the male representation of masculinity. I need to be there at the head of the family to be able to lead. If I was sitting back and I hadn't done all this work, I hadn't been through all the things that I've been through, all the counseling and therapy, so on and so forth, I don't know if I could lead the family the way that I'm leading them. I don't know if I could hold space the way that I'm holding for them. I don't know what would have happened when everything went down. I just don't know. It's an unknown possibility that thankfully I didn't have to find out the hard way. Because I hold myself to such a high standard to seek help, get massages, therapy, coaching, counseling, whatever it is that I need for self-care, I can then look after everyone else. It's one thing that I say to my partner. It's a point of contention between us because she's such a selfless person. She's a beautiful nurse and God, I love her. She doesn't put herself first. She doesn't look after herself. And it's really hard for me to see because it's such a high value of mine to look after myself, make sure that I am checking in with my needs before I check on everyone else's needs, and she gets burnt out. She gets burnt out really easy, and it's really hard for me to see her get burnt out. It's really hard to witness when she's not looking after herself. So every single day that I make sure that I talk to her and say, are you okay? My one non-negotiable that I set every single morning is the way that I check in with Rach. Doesn't happen every morning because sometimes I'm off earlier for PT clients, earlier than she wakes up. But I made it a non-negotiable standard that I check in with her every single day after making her a coffee. First thing I do when my alarm goes off, I get out of bed, turn my alarm off, turn the coffee machine on. I do my normal morning routine, which I spoke about a couple of episodes ago, where I have a glass of water with some salt in it and then a coffee. Once I do that, I go to the bathroom, come out and make her coffee. From that point where I'm frothing the milk and I'm making sure that, good old Macca's quote here, but spin to win, I'm frothing the milk perfectly by procedure, and I'm putting time, effort and love into her coffee. Then when I take it into her, I check in with her. Hey darling, how are you doing? Is there anything you need? What appointments do you have today? How do you need me to show up? Sometimes I say it out loud, sometimes I don't. A lot of the time, Rach and I, because we've been together for 8 years, we have great non-verbal communication, and I can see inside of her and she can see inside of me when we need the other person to step up a little bit. The other night I was meditating on the couch and I was deep in meditation, and I had this need arise inside of me that I really needed Rach to come over and to put her hand on me. I was having a really rough time in this meditation, and call it woo-woo, call it whatever, but I was putting such a pure intention out, like telepathically or whatever you want to call it, that she came over and sat next to me and put her hand on me. And I said, thank you, I really needed that. It was a beautiful moment where she knew and understood me, and I know and I understand her. I want you guys to have that level of communication with yourself. What do you need? What do you actually fucking need? And then go do it. I'm actually going to drop down into the description a questionnaire, a self-evaluation questionnaire. Something that I've been giving to clients since about 2018 now. This questionnaire is designed for you to get to the root cause of what's going on in the current moment. It might be a big list, it might be a short one. But I want you to go through without thinking and go through each step. Answer it truthfully with the first thing that comes to your mind, not whatever you consciously think. Oh no, I can't say that, or oh no, fuck it. Get out of your own way and allow yourself to help yourself. Love yourself. Nurture yourself. It's one of the most important things that men can do because they're doing a shit job of it now. I want you to go through this questionnaire and I want you to answer truthfully, but then when you get to the end of it, do something about it. Whether it's, I need to spend more time with the missus, or stop jerking off, or whatever it is. Be truthful about it and then action it straight away. One thing when it comes to raising your standards everywhere, it's all well and good to write it on paper like I've said before, but you need to take action. You have to become a man of action to make sure that you're moving forward. That is one of the greatest things about life. You get to choose your own destiny. You get to choose where you're going. Some things are predetermined. However, there is so much left up to you and chance. What if you actually put yourself out there? What if you actually started treating yourself as if you matter? What if you started seeing a physical therapist and getting help on your injuries that are holding you back, stopping you from getting down on the ground with the kids, the grandkids, and playing with them, being a horse for them, or, playing cars with the boys, or whatever's going on. The thing that's stopping you from doing that in living your life to the fullest could be an injury, could be a very simple fix. Could be as simple as doing a few new stretches that you learned from a physical therapist. You never know. Or what happens if you're getting a massage and you start crying? You start releasing some trauma. The body holds the score. What if all of a sudden you're doing a massage that's, a nice relaxing massage, and you start releasing trauma? You start letting go of things that have been holding you back for 30, 40 years. What then? How free could you be to make choices in the future if you truly have limitless potential and the only things that are holding you back are past traumatic events, past abuse, past violence, past limiting beliefs? What if all of these things can be liberated? Super, super simple, as easy as that. What if you could do it? What if you actually treated yourself as if you matter? Because you fucking do. The amount of men that I've seen with the world on their shoulders, and they're heavy, they're slow, they're sluggish. They're struggling. The amount of men that I've seen like this, that are at wit's end, that are at almost breaking point, it's unimaginable. That's why Australian statistics, or at least Western Hemisphere statistics around suicide, is 3 out of 4 suicides are men. 3 out of 4. That's a horrible statistic. All because men aren't doing the things necessary to heal. They're not doing the things necessary to be able to look after everyone else. The world isn't better off with you not here. The world and your damn family is not better off with you dying, with you tapping out because you think it's better off without you. I'm going to tell you now, that's a conspiracy theory against yourself. That's not getting your needs met. That's you giving up. Don't give up. You're so much stronger than that. You're so much better than that. You deserve so much more than that. Your family deserves more than that. I want you to start thinking of self-care and your standards around self-care as a non-negotiable. Like we talk about with everything, especially with health and fitness. Your daily non-negotiables that you set for yourself, including self-care, become the habits, rituals, and routines that create success in the future. You can't build a house on a poor foundation. So if you've got a poor foundation of habits around no self-care, not getting body work, not doing breath work or meditation, counseling, therapy, whatever it is to be able to help you specifically heal in the way that is unique and perfect for you, You're doing yourself and your family a disservice. You're doing your potential a disservice. All of the things that are holding you back just because you won't get out of your own way. So set up routines, rituals, habits, behaviors, appointments, reminders to make sure that you do the work. Doing the work means doing the work. That's one thing that men are great at. We're amazing at working. We're amazing at getting things done. We do better than anyone else. So do this too. Because you matter. Your life has worth. Everything that is ahead of you in your life, all of the potential, all of the relationships, the love, the excitement, the ups and the downs are going to make you a better man. And it's from this point on that you can choose to matter for yourself. It's one of the strongest choices that you can make as a man, is to say, yeah, I matter. And I need to look after myself because I love myself. Even me saying that to myself now, after all the work that I've done, that matters. That feels so good to say that I love myself, because for so long I fucking hated who I was. To be able to have that conversation with myself, to be able to hold that space of love and nurturing for myself, it's beautiful. And I really hope that you guys out there can get that for yourself as well, because you're worth it. You matter. You are loved. And if you haven't heard it today, I love you. Sincerely, brother, I love you. I love you so much. You can't even comprehend how much I love you. I hope you have a big takeaway with this one today. Talking about self-care, about setting up routines, non-negotiables for making sure that you matter. This is so fucking important. Thank you so much for being here with this one. This is a really special one, close to my heart, because I've spent so long going through my own healing journey, as I'm sure so many of you guys are as well. I can say it again. You matter. You are loved. I love you. Have an amazing day, guys. Go down into the description, copy and paste into a blank document the self-evaluation questionnaire. I'd love to see some actual responses down in the comments. That would be absolutely amazing. Let's continue a dialogue going on, and then I shall see you in the next one. Much love, men. I love you. Take care, and I'll see you next time. Thank you for being with me today. Thank you for subscribing and leaving a review. It really helps us out. Until next time, take care and much love.